Good morning, good afternoon, depending on what part of the globe you are existing. Great to see you guys here. Let's talk some fascinating truths, facts about manifestation, the law of attraction, the law of assumption, all the spiritual, esoteric things in life that you actually need to know this stuff. Because a lot of this information has actually been hidden from you. Well, they've just been thrown all over the place, so you can't assemble it together. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to teach you some things that enlighten you and open your mind to some information that you can use right now to change your life, to become the best version of yourself, or manifest whatever you want. So I have a question I'd like to ask you guys. You guys are so smart, chosen ones here, because if you find this video, then it definitely resonates with you. Because the first thing you learn about the multiverse, we call it universe, is that everything attracts and finds its correspondent feeling or being, right? So, how do we construct our reality? Does anyone know how we perceive the world? How do things come into existence? How do you construct the world you live in? This is the thing that I think everyone should know. Hey, good morning. How are you doing? Thoughts and beliefs. You're saying thoughts and beliefs. We construct our reality through our thoughts and beliefs. That is actually correct. We do construct our world through our thoughts and belief. But I want to get a little deeper. How does that work? What is our imagination? We have imagination here. See, look, we can say the concepts. We can say what I do through my thoughts and through my beliefs. I do it through my imagination. But you know what would be more powerful? If you knew how your thoughts and beliefs actually create your world. Wouldn't that be very powerful for you? Because if you knew how your thoughts and beliefs and imagination create the world, you can then have more confidence, more ability to operate it, right? I think so, right? I think knowing how something works gives you more power than just knowing it works. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, I also agree. All right, so pay attention to this. All right. We don't actually see reality the way it actually is. We see reality the way our minds conceive it. So your reality is like a hologram. So this is the easiest way to make sense of all this for you so that you can take it to, I'm going to show you something next level stuff here. So you know a hologram, right? So a hologram, you can see the images, it looks real, right? That's exactly how your world is. The reason your world looks real to you is just trickery, sensory perceptions of your brain. Now, how do we know this is true? Well, let's look at the elements that create our life, right? The elements of the ingredients of life. They're called the atoms. Inside of an atom, you'll have a proton, you'll have an electron, you have a neutron. Proton, electron, neutrons, atoms, okay? Now, in the atom, it has no physical mass. Okay, remember that. It has no physical properties. You're made from the atoms, so you can't be a physical property thing. So that means you have to be like a hologram, a simulation, or an imagination, like a dream. That's a fact. Okay, so that has to. I don't know how you're gonna take it, but it's the truth, right? So if you can't handle the truth, you can't handle the truth. But you got to know the truth. So you're massless, spaceless, dimensionless. What I mean by dimensionless, I mean you're operating all frequencies at the same time. You're here, there, and everywhere at the same time. Now, the thing is this: when it comes to having what you want in your life, some of you would love to manifest the lottery. Many of you would love to manifest the success, your career, your job. Many of you want to manifest your special person, your SP. Many of you want to manifest the health in your life. Many of you want to achieve your goal of your company or whatever it is on your journey. You're here because you are looking to create something. Right? What is it that you are creating? You have to know that. And then what is it that you want to manifest? You have to know that. Then you have to know how to manifest those things in your life. So I'll ask you a question again. How do you manifest your success, your special person, your health, your career, for the lottery, your house, your car, your business making more money, your stocks, your trading, your real estate business? How do you do it? Well, I'm going to tell you how you don't do it, and then you should know how to do it. When it comes to manifesting or deliberately creating your life or your world, it doesn't happen on the outside. It means that if you are outside and you're doing a lot of working hard and you're stressing yourself and you're tired and you're pushing the buttons and you're doing all these thinking and your brain gets clogged up and you're working very, very hard, you're actually miscreating. That's why I said it. If you are struggling, if you're pushing hard, if you're meeting resistance, if you're getting like brain fog, if you're getting tired, if you're whatever you're doing and you're doing it really hard and you don't see any improvements, you don't see anything else, you are actually miscreating your world. All is mind. That's correct. So if you want to be rich in the physical world, you got to be rich in the mental world. If you want to have your special person in the physical world, you got to already have your special person in the mental world. If you want to win the lottery in the physical, you got to already win the lottery in the mental. You see how simple that is? Everything is a mental. So if you become wealthy in the mind, I will guarantee you will become wealthy in the physical. If you can see your health in the mind, I guarantee your health will improve in the physical world as we see it. And the reason is very simple. I got breaking news for you. There is no such thing as a physical world. It's a category. It's one and the same. It's like saying tomato and tomato. It's the same thing. It's just a different way of looking at it. But the problem is we have been trained and conditioned that there is a physical world because it is what we're seeing in our senses. But your senses lie to you every day. You can't trust your senses. We've done experiments where it shows out your brain, and when you look at something, it gives you optical illusions. You hear something, not actually hearing it. Your senses can be tricked. I can say a word and put it out there and make you think and hear the same word I say. I can change the word and your brain will pick it up. So your senses lie to you every single day. Okay? Your senses are doing the best job they can in a three-dimensional world. So you can't heavily rely on your senses. Right? But what you can rely on is your imagination. Is a mental construct you put in your head. Whatever mental construct you put in your head, it will manifest as the physical construct in your life. Most people don't have the awareness that this is how it works. See, many individuals, they are clueless on how they're operating in their daily lives. You know, for example, I don't think people know that their body isn't physical. I don't think people know that the ingredients that make the world has no physical mass or physical properties. How many people know that? I don't think anybody know that. I don't think people know that you can never actually touch something. You can never actually sit down. You're never actually interacting with anything on a physical basis. All you're actually interacting with is the energy signatures that they give off, known as magnetic or electromagnetic frequencies. And your brain takes the electromagnetic frequency from the field and sends it into your nerve impulses. Your nerve goes into the brain, where the brain goes back, and the brain says, all right, this is an electromagnetic energy impulse. So I will make this, I'll convince him, and I'll tell him that this is touch. So, okay, so this is touch. Okay, this is an electromagnetic pulse. I'll tell him When he sits, this is sitting down. Oh, I'm standing, I'm touching. It's literally impossible. You can't do any of that. You can't touch anything because there is nothing to touch. Okay, I can show you this. I can prove this to you right now. Everything is made up of the electrons and the atoms, right? Well, they have positive and negative charges. We call that magnetism. That's how it just sets up. You have the electromagnetic spectrum. So what happens is the electrons that you have in your finger and the electrons I have in this camera, I'm going to touch this camera. I'm going to touch it. Let me see if I can so you see me touching it. Boom, I just touched it. Oops, what did I do? Okay. I touched it, see? Boom. Touch it. What happened there? Well, what really happened is the electrons in my finger and the electrons in the camera, they have what they call a Planck scale resistance. There's this much gap of magnetic energy. See that? It's smaller than that though, but look at my finger. It's more than that. We're going to the quantum scale. So what I'm touching is the repulsion energy of the particles. Someone says, we know this. Yeah, but not a lot of people, not a lot of individuals know it. If you know it, congratulations. So the fact that you can never touch anything, then what does that say about the physical world? Yep, just like the Matrix, there is no spoon. All right. Let's talk about the mental construct of how you see reality and how you can influence your life to get what you want in your life. All right. So the biggest secret to get anything in your life is to do the following. Okay. The first thing to get anything into your life that you want is you must ignore the three-dimensional world that's happening in and around you in the moment. Now, the only way you do not ignore this is if your three-dimensional world is satisfying your desires. Then fine, accept it. Okay? The next thing is once you determine that your physical construct world is not what you want, okay, then you have to go in the internal world, your consciousness world. When you're in your consciousness world, that's where now you can manipulate, facilitate a new physical world. This is done through your imagination. Once you're imagining something over and over, it comes into. So the question is, hey Mark, how do I ignore my physical world? Okay, ignoring your physical three-dimensional world does not mean you have obligations and you just throw your obligations on the table, you forget about your obligations. It has nothing to do with any of that. Ignoring your physical 3D world means do not put importance on the things that are bothering you. Do not put importance on stuff that is making you worry or is irrelevant. In other words, stop focusing on what you do not have and start to focus on what you can actually bring in and create in your life. Okay? Now, how do you do that? So let me give an example in what we call the three-dimensional world. So if you're in the 3D world, let's say you're in your job or something, and it's not going the way you want to. So your mind natural tendency is to look at what's wrong. How can I fix this? Why isn't it working? Correct? That's what our mind is developed to do, to try to solve and fix issues. This is where you stop. So instead of focusing on what's wrong and why isn't it working, here's what you do. You start to imagine now in your mind what it would look like for it to work, for it to go the way I'd like to see it. And we all can do that. And a constant repetition of that in the mental facility of our minds will create an energy that will physically change your physical world. It will start to creep in, and little by little you'll start to see the change, and you'll see your life adjust and adjust. Because again, the imagination creates the physical construct world. Does everyone see how that works? So that's how, to answer your question, that's how you ignore your 3D world. You don't focus on what's wrong and what you don't want. You focus on what you want to see happen. You focus on the end goal of your desires. Focus means just what it says, to focus. Focus does not mean how to get it, how to make it work. Got it? That's not what focus is. Focus means see the goal, see the end desire, then let the universe handle it for you. See what we got. Mark, you're amazing. Thank you. I've manifested so much by watching you. Mark, do you know where the let go after manifesting, how to let go after for a long time? All right, I'm glad you brought that up. The next important part about creating or your life you desire. Once you find out what it is you want, and once you start to implement the manifestation process, you have to immediately detach from the outcome of whatever it is that you want. Now that sounds counterintuitive. That doesn't make sense to your mind, because your mind says this is not how it works. I have to focus on what I want, and if I let go what I want, then I'm not going to get what I want. That's actually incorrect. Here's how it works. From the moment you conceive an idea of whatever it is you want, or an intention of what you want, your consciousness holds on to that idea. It never lets it go. You don't know that, so you try to hold on to the very idea that your consciousness is already holding on. So it's two people trying to hold on to the same thing. That's going to cause resistance. So what you're doing, you're battling against your own creative mind. From the minute you put something in, your mind goes to work on it. So why do we hold on? Why can't we let go? Because we're desperate. The ego is desperation. The ego thinks it doesn't know it. The ego thinks it has to keep figuring it out. But if you keep doing that, you're going to mess up yourself. Let's see here. The best analogy I would like to use is, let's pretend that you have a doppelganger, a twin, and one of your twin, just exact copy of you, he comes up to you and says, hey, I know how to do this thing, and let me go to work on it. And you say, okay. And he's there doing something and is working on it to get you what you want. But you're standing there looking at your twin, and you're saying to yourself, man, he gotta hurry up, this is taking too long. And your twin is saying, hey, relax, I'm getting it done. And then you got impatient. You say, all right, man, come on, let me help you. And he's like, no, just chill, relax. No, let me help you. He said, relax, I got this, I know what I'm doing. No, you're not doing it. How do you know I'm not doing it? Because blah, blah, blah. That's what you do when you manifest. That's what you're doing when you don't let go. You're fighting against your own mind that's trying to help you, or is attempting to get the thing to you. So this is something you have to know, that immediately once you manifest, or you're putting the process into something, letting it go. Listen, letting it go does not mean totally forgetting about it. Letting it go means letting go of the attachment or the need of the thing you want, or the desperation of it to fulfill your life. That's what letting go means. Letting go doesn't mean of the overall objective or the blueprint of the bigger thing. See how that works? So that's the one tool, the one technique, the one, whatever you want to call it, you have to master before you can manifest anything in your life. You have to become an artist, a specialist, an expert in detaching from the outcome and letting your manifestation go. And once you do that, things will start to come into your life a lot quicker, because you're no longer stopping the flow of your own self. So again, let me explain again, because this is important, because so many people don't get this. I have to, because this is live and you're coming on now. How to let go and detach from something is as follows. Once you intend what you want, once you decide whatever it is that you want, okay, you put it out to the universe, and then you stop holding on to the attachment and the need to get it. That's letting go. You can think about it all day, as long as you don't think about it in a needy state. You think about it in an abundant state. You think about it as if you're already having it. What would it look like after I have this? You're doing everything as an after effect, not a before effect. When it comes to manifesting, guys, it's about the end game. It's not the beginning or the middle of the game. It's the after effect. Manifestation and creating your reality is seeing the so-called the future after it manifests. That's how it works. You have to literally see what you want already accomplished. What would you look like working in your new office, driving in your new car? That's manifestation. Manifestation is not, well, I have to try to get my new car. What would it look like trying to get my new car? What would it look like on how I'm going to get my car? That's not manifestation. That's egocentric stuff. Creating an abundant lifestyle and getting the world to work in your favor is seeing the after results. Now, why is that so important? Why is it critical to see the after results? And why does it work? Well, I got news for you. Let me teach you something about the universe, how it works. Every single thing that you can imagine or you can't imagine right now is already happening in this moment. So you are not creating anything. You are lining up to a frequency that has something that's already been created. It's there for you. That's quantum physics, yes. Do you understand that? So when you can go to the after effect, then you change your frequency or you change your vibration up to the frequency of a reality that has already happened. So yes, just match the frequency. So if you want your car, see the after effect of you having a car. What would you do with the car? When you have the car, you be driving your car, you be cleaning your car, you be putting gas in your car. Those are normal stuff you do with the car. You wipe your car down. You put the wheel cleaner on the car. You go inside your car, you spray your stuff. Those are normal stuff you do. Manifestation is making the super desired stuff normal. Manifestation is making the big stuff that come down to earth. That's manifesting. That's when you're going to get it. That's when it's going to come into your world like a magic, like fast. You know, for me with the lottery, right? That's how I got the lottery. That's how I won the lottery. I learned, I discovered this. I said, wait, I have to visualize. I have to see Mark after the lottery win, post lottery win, not pre-lottery win. I have to see Mark post game. I have to see Mark for the win. I have to see Mark at the office already. I have to see Mark with his car already. I cannot see Mark working to win the lottery. I have to see Mark after winning the lottery. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. And then I said, oh man, this stuff works. Okay, let me do it for something else. Okay, Mark, what do you got to see? Oh, I have to see Mark after the business. I have to see Mark after this. I have to see Mark. Okay, dang, that worked too. Wow, so this is really simple. The way to trick or hack the universe and to manifest anything really fast and simple is all I gotta do is see the post-game results. I don't have to see the pre-game. I just see the post-game. So it's like a sports game. So when a team is gonna play another team, you have what's called what? Pre-game. They got the pre-game press conference. So the two teams are there talking. They're like, yeah, if you're in the playoffs, it's like one team says, yeah, I'm looking forward to this matchup. That's a great team. They run a great zone defense. Da 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 da. We got to play really well to beat them. You know that? That's called pre-game. And then what happens? You get the post-game. Somebody won. So the post-game now is like, you know, it was a hard-fought game. I'm glad we won that game. We really did good. We really shot well that game. Our defense was good. Our three-point percentage held them down. Our transition, da da da. Manifestation is skipping the post-game and go into the highlights of the game, of the post-game. You just go right to the post-game. There's no pre-game. Pre-game takes place lower self. Post-game takes place higher self. The game is called the end game. Got to see the end results of your manifestation. That's what I do now, and that's how the game works. That's the simplest way to manifest anything. You don't have to do it like 369. You don't got to do the turnaround method. You don't got to do the water cup method. You don't got to do any of that stuff, man. All you have to do is see post-game results. Decide what I want and then see the end game of getting what I want. It's a wrap. I will explain to you again how this works on a scientific aspect. So, because you're joining again, so let me explain it again, because a lot of you might not get this. But the reason that works, and it's the only way it works, is because, again, I just said to you, you cannot create anything. You can only match your frequency to what has already been created. So the win, I'm going to use the analogy of a sports team. So there's a reality where you've already won. That team already won. So all you do is go to the reality where the team already won. And then you go to the reality where the team already won by using your imagination to see yourself winning. That reality will configure, because everything is connected as a consciousness, that reality will configure to show up into this reality, because you can only perceive one reality at a time. The universe manifests based on what your attention is in a particular moment or time. You cannot focus on several things at the same time. It's impossible. Human beings can't do that. You can't sit here and visualize 6 things simultaneously. Your brain doesn't work like that. Your brain can only sit here, I visualize one thing, then I move to the next thing. Your brain cannot pop up and show simultaneous multiverses of realities. It doesn't work. Although they are there, your brain just isn't capable or incapable of generating that amount of understanding. So, when you jump to the post game, there's the reality I want. Okay, I'll do that. I'll repeat that a lot. The repetition, what the repetition does, when you repeat in the repetition of that, you are what you call tuning. Remember, you have to tune to get to your desire. Because we're working with frequencies. The frequency is about tuning, the dial. The more you repeat, the more the dial turn is tuning. And the more you repeat, you're getting closer to that channel. And the more before you know it, boom. So what's going on in the tuning process? What's going on in between my manifestation and the moment I'm waiting? Well, what's going on is your subconscious mind is shifting and going into those realities and organizing the stuff that you can't imagine. And that's what it's doing. It's behind the scenes creating whatever it is you want. See how it works? So now you have the most simple understanding of how to easily manifest your life by design. All right, guys. Excellent. That's what I want to leave you with today. And I will see you again next time.